Hi everybody, it's Lace, and this is going to be part 2 in our sota wiki tutorial. If you've forgotten from the first video, it's going to be sotawiki.net, and we're just going to start off on the main page. The first video covered most of the navigation of this main page and getting around, so if you haven't looked at that, it might be a good time to go look at that and then come back to this video. It's in the playlist, and you can look for it in my selection. It'll say sota wiki part 1. One thing to point out is so far this wiki's been edited by 395 people that have contributed. I'd like to see that number grow, and as we get into the later tutorial videos, we'll get more into the editing, and that's how we can hopefully get some more contributors, because there's a lot of information that still needs to be updated. There's a lot of information that's not in the game yet because the devs haven't released it. So this is going to be an ongoing project to make this database, usable for everybody. And that is the purpose of these tutorials. So if you want, maybe pause this out, go get yourself a beverage, maybe even an adult beverage, and then come back and hopefully can show you a few new things that you didn't know about. So as a new player or a returning player, one of the things you're going to want to know about is where can I train my higher level tiered skills? Well, you're going to need a skills trainer. So I'm going to type that in. And it's going to take me right to the page, and it's going to say it's under construction because they're not locked in their locations and stuff yet. Here's some of the basic skills trainer, but what you're really probably going to want to look at is this advanced skills trainer, and I'm just going to expand that. And now they're starting to be filled out. As you can see, they don't have pages, that's why they're in red. The ones that do, you could go in and it says he's the master of Shields trainer, and we might be able to get some more information on this page eventually as we get more people editing. Let me go back and expand that again, just to look down. So this is where they are as of right now, and this video is being shot as of R31. They could move around. It's hard to say, but this will give you the cheat sheet of where they're currently located, and they do have the loc position. You can use the loc position when you're in game by typing \loc, and of course if you've passed by points of interest, that'll help you navigate as well. Anyway, I wanted to show that first about how you can see where to go to get the training. This will be filled out more and more and more as more towns are documented and stuff. That's actually one of the things that I want to work on, is starting to get all the NPCs in there. There's thousands and thousands, so that's going to be a really long project, and it's going to take a lot of people. But here's one way to find your skills trainers without having to go back to the Shroud form, search, and then find them there. Okay, so we've talked about where you can train skills basically in any NPC town, and then where you can find the advanced trainers and how to find a listing of that here on the wiki. How about, how do I know where to go hunt? Well, if you've watched some of the other tutorials that I did, like on the overland map, I've showed how you can distinguish an NPC town from or scene from player-run towns or player-owned towns. And again, that's looking for the scroll bar in Runic with the name under it. So how do you know how hard it's going to be? Well, you don't unless you zone in, or you use your handy dandy sota wiki to tell you the scene difficulty. So I'm going to go in here and I'm going to type in scene and spell it correctly, difficulty, and bring that up. This page is going to show me there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skulls, and we kind of showed that visually in the other tutorials. But in addition, now we have this nice list that tells me all the 1s, all the 2s, 3s, and 4s, and as more scenes are added, this will be expanded. I think these are all the ones that I know I mapped personally, running around the map a couple of times a few releases ago. So these should be pretty accurate because I think I made sure they were. But in addition, I can also go into here and it'll give me a list of all the ones. That's another way to do it. Let me just go back to this because we can see the same thing a different way. If High Vale, so High Vale's a tier 1, right? It's 1 skull difficulty area. I may interchange tier with skull, but it's the same thing. So if I click on the High Vale entry, here it is on the map. Now with this map, when I'm moused over it, I can hit my control button and my mouse wheel, and it zooms in and out on the map. I can drag the map with my left click and a mouse, so I see it's in High Vale. So if I'm way down here in Ardoris, and I can zoom in, I'm in Ardoris, how do I get to High Vale? Well, it's kind of like northwest. Now, it's not going to be a direct path, but where did it go? There it is. There's my little marker. It'll give you an idea visually on the overland map where something is in relation to something else. Now there are outside tools like sotamap.com, which also has representation, but going through here, I can see. Now, some of the things that aren't filled out, well, we've got the map, but we don't have the monsters, which is the loot tables. We don't have trivia. We don't have any pictures yet. These are all things that, of course, we want to eventually add to the wiki so that it's, a full encyclopedia of everything about the game. So that was tier difficulty. Let me go back to this page. So again, depending on your level, you can find areas that you want to hunt and see where they're at in relation to where you are by looking at the map and figure out what you're going to do. Eventually in these, the other goal is to have the resources in there. Right now, the resources aren't set. Everything is in every zone and in every scene that that you can harvest pretty much. A few are dedicated to mining only, but eventually over time they're going to be reallocating resources. So if it says woods, it's probably going to be heavy in lumber and you're probably not going to find mining. If it's a grasslands, you might find a bunch of alchemy stuff. I don't know that's exactly how it's going to be, but that's the plan as I've heard it. So eventually we'll want to get the resources updated in here, and just like we have this showing all the places that are tier 4, I think the hope and dream is to eventually say, mandrake root, and show all the zones that you can harvest that in. Or say something like lumber, and show all the zones that have lumber. Again, right now, in pre-final launch, things are kind of all over the place, but do expect that to change over time before launch. Also, I'm using terms like final wipe and launch. Final wipe is coming up near the end of July, and again, that's just going to be persistence. That is not the polished finished product. It's still very much in an alpha state. It's just that money that we earn while playing in pre-alpha, guess what? We get to keep that money and spend it on things that we get to keep. We've been wiping every 3 months, so that's something everybody's looking forward to. But it's not launched, so just to be clear on that. And I think that kind of covers looking at this. One of the things that I kind of mentioned in the very first tutorial was going down to this categories page on the main page. And the way you get there is you go to special pages, and there's a lot of information here. But we're going to go into categories, and just one quick shortcut I wanted to show you. See how it's alphabetical and goes up to however many categories we have. If I type in the letter, how about T, and I say go, then it's going to start at T, so I don't have to navigate through 50, 100, whatever. I can type the first letter, and then it's going to go down from there to help me see all the things that start with T. And, just looking at that terminology, textile, things to do, third-party apps, tailoring skills. Again, I just want to point out this category thing because it gives you an easy way to explore a lot of different things. Okay, the next thing I want to cover is a city template. And when I say a city template, it's a template of all the information we like eventually for all NPC towns to have. Ardoris is an example one that Browncoat Jason, one of your editors for Sota Wiki, one of your very, very, very main editors. I forget his exact title, so pardon me on that, but he's one of the people that have put thousands of hours into it. He kind of set this up to be like an example template of how we would like all the NPC towns to be. So without further ado, let's type in Ardoris. And look, see, I just typed a few letters and it's popping it up. So looking at it as we first enter the page, you can see all the information, trivia, a little bit of trivia lore, things all about it. You can read through all that. Again, you've got your map and stuff. You've got a nice table of contents. The next thing, let's go into the housing lots. I'm going to click that. And on this, I've got to give a little shout out to Ice Queen, who I believe on the forums was keeping track of all this for all these towns as they were coming online and kept updating a running thread. I did shoot that link to Browncoat Jason, one of the main guys from Sota Wiki, and he took all that information and painstakingly entered it into every city. So now you can see how many road lots there are, how many Duke Keeps, Lord of the Manor, city, town, how many lots are there, or if they're, all the types that were there. While you can still go to the forums to get that information, if you're looking to see what a particular city had, this would be it. It's not going to, the numbers aren't going to be decreased as things are claimed or anything like that, but it gives you an idea of the size of a town and what was available to claim in land. At least, that's one part of housing lots. So just scrolling back to the table of contents, some of the other things that you can see is points of interest. Public workstations, that's one that eventually we're going to get added to every NPC town, because some NPC towns might only have a smelting station and possibly like a blacksmith station. They may not have alchemy and other things. So getting those items listed out by city, again, much like how we have the skull tier area, then you can say, where are all the blacksmithing stations? And it would tell you all the towns that have them, in like a crafting pavilion or an area in that NPC town. Player-owned towns, player-run towns, those are all going to be up to the governors. But this would give you an idea that, if I'm someplace on the map and I say, oh, look, there's one in Ardoris, and I know Ardoris is real close, I can go run there and use that station. So that's one of the things that'll be coming along as all that's documented in the wiki. Moving along, now we can see citizens, key characters, merchants, peasants, trainers, guards. The idea behind this on the wiki is, especially like with the merchants, baker, tailor, banker. Bakers will sell certain supplies that you might need in cooking. If you look at an alchemist is going to have alchemy components. So again, just like I said with the blacksmithing, the plan is I can type in alchemist and get a list of all cities with alchemists, or I could get a list of all cities with tailors, or all the cities that have farmers in them, where you get your seeds, possibly some of the other vegetables and stuff used in crafting. So that's where it's going to come in. Key characters, I believe the plan for that might be hints as to where quest people are, or people you should talk to, or something like that. I'm not fully aware of everything on that. I think that's the plan behind that. Again, I'm not really one of the wiki staff. I'm just wanting to be a contributor and help get the word out and help get all this information filled in so that everybody can use it and stuff. Continuing to scroll down, you'll see you're going to also see your trainers. So now you see your master guy, you see your regular adventure, you see your crafting, and then there's a water magic, so that's going to be another, master trainer, master shields and stuff. So again, if you're inside a city, you'll see those same sub things that you could have searched for and gotten that whole list, or you can have it, very specified to the city level. The guards, actually, look at this. Every single guard's name has been listed here from talking to them. And again, I believe this was Browncoat Jason, so big kudos. He talked to every guard just to get their name, find out what kind of affiliation they had in Ardoris. And as you can see, there's a lot of different guards in Ardoris. As more NPCs are added to the towns, these are things that, may become very important to lore, questing, and things like that. So getting their stubs in there is a huge leg up on getting all that quest information filled in eventually and stuff. Speaking of questing, see here's your main article, main stub, Ardoris quest. I believe it's empty right now. Yeah, it's under construction, but eventually there would be a spoiler, and all the quests that were found in Ardoris would be entered here by somebody, donating their time to get in there. Let's see, so what else we haven't covered up here? Oops, zone that map in. Quest bestiary, not really that relevant in a town. Quests, again, we covered. Resources, not that relevant in NPC town. Trivia gallery, also, just useful things that you might want to know. That we got a little bit of trivia going on. We got a little bit of a gallery of different pictures. We've got the mini map. Oh, resources. Well, yeah, I guess that is important because you can fish there. Yep, that was my bad. Oh, and the Watcher is there, of course. Let's just scroll up here. I've messed this map all the way up. Oops. Look Look at me not learning how to control my stuff. See if I can get this back in a reasonable amount of time. Drag it down. If you look at this, this is the same mini map that I covered in an earlier tutorial. I think I had Owl's Head on here, and I did note that everything's still in Runic. But what's on here is these locations of these people that we saw in the key merchant areas, the ones that we've identified. They are now flagged as points of interest on this mini map inside Wiki. Inside the wiki. So if I knew their name, I could see, oh, Samuel Redstone is Ardoris. And, you know, let's pretend I was looking for him. He's probably somewhere around here. Where is he? Samuel Redstone. He's a farmer. Okay. So anyway, that's another way to help you locate visually where things on the map. But again, hopefully the plan is you'd be able to type farmer and find out all the towns that had farmers in them, and you know, Samuel Blackstone would come up, and if I click on him, where was he at? Lost Redstone, not Blackstone, my bad. Samuel Redstone. I click on him. Now I can see, look, I can see exactly what he has. You know, probably eventually the links will be there. Apples, tell me everybody that sells apples. You know, things like that. That's how you build the whole interconnectivity of the game. Game is massive. This is going to take time. But that's how eventually everything can be linked up through the wiki. Okay, one last thing. If you didn't watch the first tutorial, again, I just want to point out about crafting and stuff. So if I hit armor as my search word, there's a lot of suggestions that it would make. But let's pretend we're saying, I don't know, cloth armor. So here's all the different cloth armor sets and some of the bonuses. Some of the stuff has changed. It's going to have to be updated over time. Let's see, where was I wanting to click on? Oh, see also cloth chest armor. So if I click into cloth chest armor, here's all the variations that currently are in game. As more stuff's added, of course, you know, this is going to get longer. But if I just go into this basic recipe, I just want to again show the depth. It tells me everything I need to make it, and then it tells me how do I make the component of it. Okay, and then that's how I do it. I just wanted to touch on that. I went pretty in depth on the first one, but I just wanted to hit it again in case people didn't go read the first one, or watch the first one rather, about you can look up armor sets. Expect the bonuses and stuff to change over time. It's probably not time well spent trying to update all those stats and things that are going to obviously change over time. But I would just want to show how all that linkage work. Boy, I'm just not talking well tonight. I should go have some beers. And with that said, I think this will conclude this tutorial, and I think I might just go have a beer. So happy hunting, take care, and be safe.